Welcome back to episode 7 of the Simulator Chat series. If you want to take a minute and don't want to miss any episodes, just hit that subscribe button and put on your notifications. But just getting started here, I'm playing Bethpage Black. This is the 2024 Ryder Cup version. I think the only difference between the Ryder Cup version and the regular version on these simulators is it puts like the stadium seating in the course. Don't know why. Don't know if that's really the difference or not, but I noticed that the simulator does have two different types of Bethpage Black, and then Whistling Straits, they have two versions. Anyone that has a Ryder Cup version, they have a second version that's like the non-Ryder Cup version. But anyways, jumping into this episode 7 here already. Just wanted to kind of circle back originally and touch on the topics from the prior episodes, just the last couple maybe. So episode 5, I talked about my first round playing outside and the struggles that came with switching from hitting off of mats, like you see here with the perfect conditions, hitting off of solid turf, to going to early March outdoor conditions on an actual golf course where honestly the greens were like carpets, the fairways were partially muddy, and it wasn't even, I feel like the grass wasn't even alive yet. And overall, I had my ups and downs during that round. So if you want to go back and check that out, that's episode 5. And then episode 6, I played a par 3 course. And what I do is sometimes when I have like maybe 10 minutes left at the end of the simulator with my rental, I will play the par 3 courses to see how many holes I can get through. The goal of that's just to see how many greens I can hit in regulation, because I do play the no putt modes. The idea is I'm taking basically taking 9 swings. That's the goal. It's a success if I'm taking like 10 swings or less. That means I'm hitting every green on a par 3. But ultimately, those par 3 versions, because they're going to be shorter, they're going to be like less than 10 minutes, they're going to be more fun topics. So the one for episode 6 I just talked about, which came out on Friday, like March 13th, maybe, something like that. I talked about the potential of buying a golf course and the interest I have in doing that. I know I've mentioned it in the past that I have an interest in owning a golf course as like a retirement plan or just something in the future. I just think it'd be a cool and exciting like business to run, and I'm going to end up touching on a little bit more of that at the end of this episode. But if you want to go back and listen to that episode, that was episode 6. But jumping into today's episode, again, playing Bethpage Black. Goal of the series here is to shoot between 12 and 18 over. Again, I'm a high handicap golfer if this is the first episode that you're listening to. So 12 to 18 over, basically bogey to like half bogey golf, would be considered a win for me on the simulator. But overall, just to kind of start with the main topic here is some new swing focus and just new things I'm going to work on. I've been watching a lot of videos of this one guy, I forget his name, on like TikTok, and he does like really good explanations and tutorials and walks through like swing ideas and how to fix your swing, how to fix your slice, how to prevent from being too steep or too shallow, and he talks through all these things, and his videos are really informative. And he made a good point. He said everyone constantly changes their swing, but they never think about changing their body movement. And I think that's going to be the big focus that I'm going to try to use going forward. Rather than adjusting my grip constantly or swing path, like adjust my body movement. Shift my weight back, shift it forward, drop the lead hip, and just make sure I'm creating an open club space or club path for that club to flow through to make solid contact. I'm going to do that by start using like alignment sticks. Put down an alignment stick, making sure I'm the same distance away. Put another alignment stick out in front of me where I should be making contact, like where I should be setting the ball up in my stance. You know, if you're hitting like a 5 iron, it's going to be up further than if you're hitting like an 8 iron. But overall, just using those alignment sticks, working on like my body movements, my arms, and less of like how I'm holding the club or club face, and really focus on those areas. And the hope and the goal of this is to get more consistent with my ball striking. The one thing I noticed for my one outdoor round, and even I went to the simulator this morning and played a little bit, even in that round that I played this morning, I'm not striking the ball consistently. I would say like maybe right now I'm 60-65% of the time making good solid contact with the ball, and the other time I'm topping it, or I'm popping up a driver, or I'm shanking it left or right, or hitting a snap hook or a massive slice. So just trying to narrow down those misses and get a little more consistent is the goal. I kind of started posting the outdoor videos on my TikTok and on YouTube Shorts so far, so if you haven't, go check some of those out. And every one of those is just going to be labeled, like when I play an outdoor round, it's going to be labeled like going scratch episode blank, rather than like labeling out the courses. But I think I've also recently decided that I'm going to continue to play at the simulators throughout the summer. I was talking to the guy today at the simulator, and he said that their busy season at the simulator is coming to an end with the weather getting nicer and people being able to go outside. So the hope is I can get some reasonable rates. I don't know if I mentioned it in a previous chat or not, but the guy was telling me that they got a new software, and you can play now, you can play Augusta, you can play Aronimink, which is where I believe the PGA Championship is being held this year in 2026. You can play Marion, which I know is another popular course that's had a couple majors at it, and I think they host the PGA Championship, or it's the US Open, in 2030. So I think that I'm going to try to keep getting to the simulator maybe like once a month. I can go for 2 hours, get about 63 holes in, like a full 3 rounds plus 9 holes. I can at least get 54 in for sure. I can keep putting out these simulator chat series throughout the summer, but also if possible, like around April, I'm going to try to go play the Augusta National that they have, which is it's called Georgia National, and it's like a replica. I don't know how it works with copywriting to make sure it's not too similar, but I'll probably try to post those videos around the time that the Masters is going on, or like the PGA Championship at Aronimink. If I'm able to play that course, I'm going to try to play and post those videos around the time that the tournament is going on. I think it'd be cool to play Augusta on the simulator and put it to the hardest difficulty and play it once through at the hardest difficulty, and then put it on like the easiest difficulty, which is typically what I play on. It's just called novice. Like, I'm not changing any of the settings in the simulator. I'm not, I've heard people put comments down like, oh, turn down the altitude settings. I don't touch any of that. I don't touch the wind. I just put like whatever the basic settings, default settings that come on the system. That's all I'm doing. So I can do the default settings and try it for a round, and then put it on like the hardest setting just to see what I would shoot, maybe try to get more tournament-like feel. I think that'd be kind of interesting to see how realistic it is. And when I play that course, I will probably do the putting, like on the hardest level. I'll probably throw the putting in there too. As I've mentioned in the past, and as you kind of see as we're progressing here through, I'm already on the 9th hole of this video. I have been playing the no putt mode. Again, I don't want to waste my time at the simulator hitting putts. I'd rather focus on long, mid-range irons, some short game stuff, fairway, woods, and hybrids, drivers, like those types of clubs. I can hit putts at a mat for free in my living room. I don't need to pay $60 an hour to go hit 36 to 40 putts around. It's kind of just I feel like a waste of time. And I've heard people comment about that too, being like, you're not going to get any better if you're not hitting the putts. Well, I don't think the simulator is completely accurate even when I'm hitting my drives and stuff. As you can see right there, I caught that one really low on the screen. I don't think that ball flight would have been the same outdoors as it was on the simulator. But at the end of the day, I'm putting good swings on, I'm coming and getting work in, and just practicing, and that's what's most important. And I don't know, I think it's fun playing on the simulator, playing a bunch of different courses that I probably won't get the opportunity to play. But kind of segueing over, as I was talking about earlier, I played, and just actually, quick side note, I meant to mention this in the beginning. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to hear me. I have to go back and listen to the video, but I did have a mic set up. Like, I had a mic attached to my shirt in this episode. Like, when I went to the simulator this time around, I kept getting copyright issues with, like, YouTube Shorts and TikToks because the for some reason the facility loves to play music, but they play it at sometimes like a really loud volume, and my phone camera, or like the GoPro that I'm using to film this, would pick that music up, and then it would like it would get like limited visibility. It would be like the warning I'd get on YouTube due to the music playing in the background. So I would have to like mute a lot of my videos, or just play music over my TikToks and YouTube Shorts, and I don't want to have to do that all the time. So if you hear some other talking in the background me, it's me talking into the mic and making a little bit of commentary as the round goes on. Meant to mention that at the beginning, but I just realized it when I saw that I was talking in one of the clips, and I was like, let me touch on this real quick in case it can be heard. So this was the first time I played with a mic attached to me, and it was definitely weird. It took a little bit to get used to. I've now played a couple rounds with a mic, and I'm starting to get used to it. You kind of forget it's there after, a hole or two. But segueing into the next topic here, talking about outdoors playing on the course. I've had a lot of comments. I've had back and forth recently over the last week with outdoor videos I've posted and people talking about the course I'm playing at. On TikTok, one of my pinned videos is of that course a few years ago, and I had people commenting saying that it's a groundhog, the groundskeeper, because the greens are just destroyed and the fairways are just beat up. Apparently, a few years ago, they had an issue with their sprinkler system, and it was a really dry summer, and it just killed the grass, killed the greens, and it's been getting better every year, the conditions of the course, but I don't know if part of me is just trying to make an excuse for them. I think that they're not putting the effort in at this point that they need to. It's been about 3 years since that issue has occurred. I feel like the course should be kind of returning to good conditions, but it's a shorter course in my area. I think from the whites it plays like 5,500, so it's definitely not like your typical, like I think white's typically around like maybe 6,200. So it's a little shorter, but it's a fun course. It's a laid-back course, which I like. You don't have people pushing up with you. Pace of play is pretty solid. It's a good place to go for a lot of beginners. But playing that course, I was going back and forth with someone in the comments on one of my TikTok posts, and they were saying that even pros would struggle on that course, and I agree. So the topic that I had for like my fun topic today was, would pros struggle on municipal courses that are in bad conditions? Municipal or local private, not like private courses, but like locally private owned courses. I'm not talking about, like, I've seen like Bryson DeChambeau and like Garrett, Brad, and was it Sean, I think, from like Good. They go out and they're like, we're playing the easiest municipal course in this state, or we're playing a local municipal course to see how we would shoot. And I look at the condition of those courses, and they're like good conditioned municipal courses or local courses. I'm talking about like if you go watch my outdoor video, I'm going to be posting the full outdoor video on my YouTube here in the coming weeks. But if you go look at my YouTube Shorts or my TikToks and you see it, I'm talking about like that condition, where like every putt you hit, the ball is hopping all the way to the hole. One green rolls at like a 10 on like the scale, and the other one rolls at a 2, where you could hammer it. It will never get there, and you got to putt through 3 craters to get it there. Their fairways, there's like maybe 3 spots with grass, and there's a lot of dirt or like holes because they don't roll the fairways and don't repair the fairways. I'm talking about like that type of a condition course, because I really do believe that if I played on, I think I shot like right around 100. First time outside, not going to complain. I ended up going back the next day and playing 9, and I shot 10 over on 9. So I was on pace to shoot forget what par is on that course. I think par 68. So I was on pace to shoot 20 over, which would have been an 88, which would have been the first time I've ever broken 90. But I don't count breaking 90 on that course just because the course is it's a small course. It's not like the proper yardage. A lot of drivable greens on par fours that if you hit good shots, you can set yourself up for a lot of easy pars. But anyways, I just want to hear anyone's thoughts on that. So leave a comment down below if you think that even the best pros would struggle on poorly conditioned local or municipal courses. Not conditioned that are like decent condition or in good shape. I'm talking about like beat up, not maintained. Like think about the worst local municipal course in your area. Like that is what I'm talking about. But anyways, got a little less than 2 minutes left here in the video, so just wanted to kind of touch on the updated potential of buying a golf course. So I went through and I used, some AI tools and crunched some numbers, and the course that I'm referring to that's like beat up in bad condition, that's the one that I was like, well, you know what, maybe I can reach out to the ownership group, see if they can do like owner financing, give them like royalties or whatever and give them a money over asking price. You can go see the whole breakdown in episode 6 of what I was talking about. But the golf courses typically, and I was even searching online, you can find like websites that you can buy golf courses. A lot of them are cash flowing about $300,000 to $600,000 a year after all expenses. And it's not like premier courses. I'm talking about like local courses, which I feel like isn't bad. And, it's something that I'd still have an interest in. Maybe throwing some feeler emails out to some of the ownership groups in my area to see if anyone's interested in kind of selling or looking to bring someone else in to be like a part owner and help contribute. But I just think it'd be a cool idea. Again, it's kind of like one of my retirement plans is to do something like that, but I also think it'd be cool to make a series out of repairing a golf course. But finishing up here, hitting my last shot of this episode. If you stayed this long, thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you next Monday for episode 8.